And so, do we have an introduction for him?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick introduction. Yeah, so Ben Gold came back out. He's out here on the fly last time, and almost on the fly this time, as a matter of fact. So he filled in last time. We did artificial intelligence, and he took us kind of from an outside real estate view of it, and then we're gonna do a lot more inside real estate on how you can kind of make use of a lot of the things you can do, any of you can do. This isn't gonna be a little deep or complicated. And it's going to be interactive as well. You know, Ben wants to ask some questions, and then he may be able to create some stuff on the fly while you're here. You know, he and I did a good podcast, and we did that. We just kind of worked through, you know, talking through some training and educating real estate agents in artificial intelligence. But Ben was gracious enough to jump up here and help lead the discussion today.
Perfect. So I want to say that I see a lot of familiar faces here. And whenever I present a second time, it's really important here to have this be interactive. Also, it is the state of artificial intelligence is changing so quickly that what were best practices 2 months ago have been ditched because of a lot of the changes and a lot of the new tools that are out. So one thing that's really important is to be able to understand how these changes can impact your business. So I was just curious here. I think almost who here was not at one of my presentations. So there's like a couple. I'll just say that I have 20 years of experience in technology sales. The last year I have been focusing on AI consultancy. So I work with multiple industries, so real estate, education, as well as software companies, so individuals and organizations. I think today we're going to talk more about, from an individual point of view, how can you leverage this technology for your personal success. So first question I've got for you is, who here has a ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini account? Just a free one, okay? Who here has a paid account in those? Okay, so 3 people that have paid. Okay, that's great to know. So I'm just curious.
I'm still working on it, but I'm using it for outbound demand marketing.
That's a great use case. Mm-hmm. So when you say outbound demand marketing, what does that mean?
It means that I'm using a CRM, Attract ROI, that's got a funnel, and we have to create ads and things like that. I'm actually using it to help me figure out which subdivisions, or I'm doing like video marketing and model homes, and it's helping me figure out how to find the right ones too.
Very interesting. That's a bit of an advanced use case. If you guys want to go dig into it, we can talk about that a little bit later, because I love that use case.
Well, I don't know. Somebody's doing it for me.
They're doing it for you. Okay, but that's good. That's good to know, though.
What might help Ben though is if you have a particular person's house or client, he can kind of work it backwards to find them using AI.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about what he can do.
So there's a lot of different elements here. That's why I'm just curious to see what you're.
I've got somebody doing it for helping me with it.
Awesome. That is great. That's a great thing. You said you have a paid version. How do you use AI?
Mostly I just used it for creating captions and whatnot. I used it for bio, just writing things for me. Yeah.
Awesome. That's good. So you're kind of using it for some of the basic elements.
Yeah.
I know, Sean, you've got a couple of you've been using it for a while too. How do you use AI?
You know, Jenny uses it. But she does the property script, she does all the basic things like that. But where I've kind of moved with it is through some of your help. Actually, a lot of your help is we've been able to take, you know, any content, anything I've created, we've been able to move it into a blog, into a blog use and video content creation in my social media marketing. So what happens is I can stay in front of people based on things and content I've already created. I don't have to create it again. I don't even have to write a lot of these articles and stuff because I've already done training and coaching in the video space. Even if you do short videos, I mean, it could be any type of videos. If it's coming from you in your language. Oh, it's not?
No, they're gonna come in that door.
Okay.
Good luck getting through that.
They want to sit, are they trying to sit on this side?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
We can definitely, yeah, we can pick a few movements here. And I'll pick this up.
Well, they'll figure it out. There you go, go ahead. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Got a full house, I like it.
Yeah.
That's good.
They must have got the invite this week. So, I said a lot of words, I hope it made sense, but, yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things I want to say here is that if you've never used any kind of generative AI before, if you guys are familiar with ChatGPT, do you use it?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if I were to let me ask this question differently. Who would consider themselves to be a beginner in AI usage or generative AI usage? Okay, beginner. Who is intermediate? Who feels like that they understand it, but they kind of would like some more stuff? Okay, is that what?
Yeah, that's kind of me.
And who is an advanced user? What I mean by advanced is you use it every day, you kind of incorporate it in what you do. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this gives me a sense, we got kind of beginner to intermediate. My goal here is to keep everybody interactive and not get, this is one of the challenges of doing the AI course or AI discussion is having it so that it is interesting for the people that are familiar, but at the same time able to allow people who are newer to stay on. So what I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that there's only two things you need to know in order to use generative AI. Okay, so you don't have to be a programmer, you don't have to be like a tech person. You just need to understand that the AI needs contextual data. It does not know who you are. It does not know who Sean Corbett is. It does not know who I am, Ben Gold. It knows, however, if you give it things such as a photo of a house, a description, or if you explain to it what you want to do. And I thought this would be a fun example for somebody here who's a beginner. I'd love to get a beginner that wants to do a strategy, that wants to figure out how they're going to target people. And we'll do a fun exercise together on how you could use AI for that. The second component are the prompts. And the prompt is your, you've heard the word prompt engineer? Okay, that's a really bad word. Okay, for me it's prompt, you're a prompt stylist or a prompt creator. You don't need to be an engineer to be able to do the commands. What's important is to be able to understand how do you talk to the AI. Now, the best way to think of it is this AI is like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. These are the big foundational models. These are the ones you're going to hear about. They're like a 6-year-old kid that goes off the rails, a brilliant 6-year-old kid. So sometimes you might ask it a question and it gives you a really bad answer, and you need to put it on the rails. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, what's nice about this is that if you know how to do this, if you understand what kind of data to hand it, and you know how to work with it, then you're able to come up with, think of it as your personal advisor. Has anyone ever had a situation where you're like, I wish I could talk to my CPA or talk to my marketing person, or I wish I could get some advice over here, and you go on Google and you start doing it around. This is really like a great case where generative AI can be that person that knows who you are and knows where you want to go. Okay? So who wants to be a volunteer that's got something they really want to get done? They want to target a particular kind of person. They want to go for, I'll give you an example, like find first-time home buyers or be able to figure out how they can craft their message. Okay? What's your name?
Liz,
Liz. Okay. Give me an example. What are you looking to do?
I would like to target people within, let's say, 8-mile circumference of where I live that have been in their homes for 7 to 15 years and are ready to sell.
Okay, so now let me show you something here, okay? Okay, so we are going to take what you just said, okay, and we're going to put it So
And
there's,
then if you could also set up, I'll take the ones 9 to 10 miles.
so that's
I'll
actually,
drive the extra mile.
I'm on bike, I'm using my bike. you see.
okay, so this is really a fantastic use case here. And now one thing that's gonna happen is, right now, I'm not gonna be able to give you the list. Like, number one, I don't know where you live exactly. And so there's ways for you to
That's
get.
a relief to me, it would be weird if you did.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, like, but what I'm going to show you is, let's just say you're going to compile that list, but now let's talk to AI about what you're going to do with that list.
Okay.
Okay, and this is what I like to call do-it-yourself coaching, and it actually is really, in one hand, it's advanced, but on the other hand, if you learn this one thing, everything else about AI is going to be extremely useful. So first thing I want to share with you is I'm going to show you two different tools, Claude and ChatGPT. Okay, so Claude is done by this company called Anthropic. It got $4 billion from Amazon. And you have ChatGPT over here, which is by OpenAI. Okay, there's, just so you know, there's, to give you some context here about where we're going. So I'd like to preface this, then we'll show you some examples. Companies are spending right now trillions on this generative AI. This is what will transform our society over the next 5 to 10 years. So what you're going to see is the worst version of AI. And as a matter of fact, I'm showing you the 4.0. Sam Altman, who's the leader or the owner of, or CEO of OpenAI, has said that 4.0 today is embarrassing for him. He's about to launch the 5.0. Now, for those of you that use the free version of ChatGPT, this for $20 a month, I'm going to show you something that's 10 times more powerful. It's more perceptive, and it's able to give you much better answers. So I'm going to take your question, and I'm going to stick it here in the paid version, and we're going to do a little fun exercise together. Okay? So repeat what you're looking for. So first I'm going to say, I am a new agent. Okay, and I should say real estate agent. Let me just put that here. And I want to target, what did you say again? People that are within 7 to 10 miles.
Yeah, so I mean, we can throw around the numbers, but.
Homeowners, I would say.
What?
I would say homeowners are people.
You're right, okay, you're correct. Target homeowners, that's fair enough. Homeowners that are 10, let's just say 7 to 8 miles away from me.
Sure.
Are 7 to 8 miles from where I live.
Within 7 to 8.
Yeah.
0 to 8 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I mean, 0 to 8, you're right, 0 to 8. Good point. 0 to 8 miles from where I live. What else did you said you wanted a couple of?
I said that have owned their homes for 7 to 15 years, but the spirit behind that is that they are potentially ready to sell.
Who have owned their homes for I would say longer than 5 years. I'll just use this as a general one. I want to create an outreach campaign. What questions do you have for me for you to give me advice? Okay, so that's all I did. So now what's happening is, it's going to give a bunch of questions and we're going to answer them, and then we're going to look at the output. Okay, and then we're going to drill down and we're going to go through. I just want to show you this one case where you can come in and start from 0. Now sometimes if ChatGPT is not responding, and sometimes it's been doing that to me, we'll jump onto Claude and we'll do the same thing.
Claude, like C-L-A-U-D-E?
C-L-A-U-D-E. As a matter of fact, I am.
So is,
Oh, look, there we go.
is Claude also a 4?
So Claude is a competitor to ChatGPT. Does that make sense?
So, but it's a paid or free?
They've got a free version and a paid version. So one of the things I'm going to say is, as you begin to embrace this, you're going to get better out. So Claude is also $20 a month. Right now, technically, Claude is doing a little better than ChatGPT in its output, and we could even try this on here.
Were they
So,
second to the market when I checked with you?
what is that?
Were they second to the market?
There's kind of like a massive arms race. I'm not sure if they're second in terms of timing, but right now, if you're asking who has the best model that gives you the best output, it's a battle between ChatGPT and Claude. With Google has their version that is doing a lot better, and Apple and Meta are also in the mix. So they're all trying to, there's like this big arms race for who gives the best output. I'll say what you're gonna see here is high quality. So let me ask you any questions here. So what we can do is we can start answering these questions together. Okay, so do you have an idea of demographic information? Do you know what these homeowners are like?
It's gonna be so varied, right? But I guess in general, if we were gonna generalize just for the purpose of the exercise.
Yeah.
Married with children, probably an income, between, who knows, 250 and greater.
Children, okay.
Could
And
also be retired. Yeah.
income, I'll say 200K or larger. And that's totally fine, because what's gonna happen is that this is gonna help you not necessarily find those people, because you're gonna use other databases. What this is gonna help you is your message to them to be a very specific, married, children or retired. We go back up. The question here is, common interests. Again, is there anything else about these people that might be useful for you to know? I mean, again, if you can think about it, like you can even extrapolate something that might be important to them, that is typically important in a community, whether schools.
Schools, neighborhood, commute.
Okay,
What do you
issues
guys think?
of importance.
I always reverse it when I miss the house. I always ask them, why did you move here? Because it gives me kind of at least 2 or 3 specific things I can promote.
Crime rate,
Okay, yep. So I'm going to kind of throw that in there as an element here. So next question is, how do these people like to receive information? How are you expecting to reach out to them?
I mean, I would imagine all channels are open, but a start, depending on the information I get back, I would love to have emails, phone numbers, right, and addresses, and use.
So you like to do, maybe you can start email.
For this, I would do email and social media. Because it's gonna create the message that's gonna go out.
Okay. Number 3, your market insights. So what do you know about your market? This is something where you could, I give you an example. If you had a report that was about your neighborhood, for example, the profile, if you can get any kind of data, you could copy and paste several paragraphs about the demographics or things like that. And the more you give it, the better it's able to crunch that data and say, wow, and be able to give you some insights that you might not have seen. So do you have, if you were to ask the question, why are people selling? Why are people moving? Do you have any kind of idea right now?
I mean, I think a lot of times people move because their families are growing, because they're moving from their starter home to their, next big beautiful home, work relocation.
So-
Guys, what do you think?
I'm seeing very little move-up buyers right now. I'm seeing more entry-level or empty nesters.
I think more than usual, the moves are typically forced.
Yeah,
It could be a
The move-up
divorce, a
buyers are-
relocation, death,
yeah.
could be empty
A
nester.
lot of first-time home buyers.
So I'll say first-time home buyers
I've got lots of empty nesters now.
and empty nesters. Okay, we'll throw that as that we're kind of guessing here. So now the 4th one is, what's your outreach content?
Say again?
What's going to be your outreach content? So what do you want to do? Do you want to educate these people? Do you want them, so how do you want to communicate with them in a way so that they would want to talk to you? That's kind of what they're saying here is,
You could do postcards, you could mail letters, you could do social media, digital ads like we were talking about. How would you want to connect with them?
Yeah, social media is a lot cheaper, right? And you can change your data anytime you want to, as opposed to ordering 100 postcards that say your average median home price.
So digital ads and videos.
Yeah, digital ads and videos would be great.
Social media, digital ads. Okay. Okay, so that would be great. And then the other question here is, would you like for them to be able to like this is some ideas here. Do you want to give them, like when you're giving them your expertise, like Sean here, I know you give a lot of expertise on how, for example, you've talked to lawyers about trusts and other elements, like you kind of are able to give a perspective, and that's going to be important that even if you're newer in the real estate, you know, do you want to give these prospects something like, hey, I'm going to give you a neighborhood report or something like this. Think about it that you're giving them something of value so that they want to work with you. So I'll put here as open to ideas on content that resonates with potential homeowners.
Could we have shortened this to like 3 questions, or,
Well,
because how many questions do we have?
there's about 10, but we'll go through the other ones pretty quickly because I want you to kind of see what the answer would be. So budget and resources, I will say not sure yet.
Maybe you say like $200 a month, $100 a month.
Okay.
Why
New
not
age
start?
that you don't have one.
So the next ones are actually not as important. So for these ones are asking about compliance, timing, how often. These are to be determined. I'll put the TBD. Okay. Now this is where we can come in and so we gave them some basic ideas here. Again, one of the things that I'll do whenever I want to do a project, so anything, I want to do a marketing campaign, okay, and I want to sell my services. I go through the same thing, and then what will happen is it'll begin to give ideas.
Now, did it know where the 7 to 8 mile radius started?
No, it doesn't. However, if you were to pass some information, like let's just say you have a zip code. What?
Homes in this neighborhood or this
Zip code.
You put a zip
price range.
If you put it, a zip code won't do it. A zip code could give some stuff if you gave, if I gave it that. You would want to maybe paste, do you have like a market report for a zip code? If you post the market report that already exists in here and say, based on this information, help me create something that's even better, more personalized. Okay, so let's go up here for a second. So here's some ideas that it gave you for educational content. Let me ask you here, is there anything that you would like to drill in more deeper? That maybe you're...
Market insights is probably the most topical.
Provide brief, explain the current market trends. Let me ask you a question here. Who here has created any kind of content on social media? I'm just curious. Okay. Has it been written form, or is anyone doing any videos on social media?
All the above.
I know you do all of
A
them.
little.
What?
A little video, but.
Little video?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you an example here that there's a couple of different ways that you can create content. Okay, now I showed this, for example, with Sean. So one way to create content is to take a video you've done and then summarize it, and you can actually take that video and turn it into a social media post. Are you following? What?
Yeah, it has shown.
What?
Can you say it again one more time?
Okay.
I have a video you can edit.
Okay.
No, but you put it in and then it'll give you
Chop it up.
reels and snippets and stuff.
It's called, well, yes, so there's a couple of different apps. There's the reason I say this is, if number 3 is the most interesting for you, produce brief videos explaining the current
Yes.
market trends,
Yes,
and that's what you guys want to talk about.
yes.
I can show you a couple of examples here of ways to do that.
Yes.
Okay, this is advanced. Okay, and what?
Have you used Teijin?
What?
Have you used Teijin?
I have heard of Teijin. What is that?
Teijin.
Teijin.
Oh,
It's
Teijin.
when you actually record yourself talking for like a few minutes and everything,
Oh, yeah.
and then so it tries to capture your facial
And then you don't have to do
movements
videos
and all.
anymore, it does it for you.
And then from there, once you do that, you can just upload a script and it'll create you reading
Talking.
it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like, these fake YouTube ads or scams,
Yeah.
trying to impersonate people. And they're running like left and right, like call out crypto scam attempts and stuff like that. Using famous people say they're gonna give you all this stuff, you don't wanna drink the wallets.
So HeyGen is well, I'm going to show you something called Descript. Okay, I'm familiar with HeyGen, and that is an example of where when we want to talk about where this can go wrong. Let's talk about where it can go right, and we can absolutely
And
discuss.
you can use it for good too, I'm not
but-
saying it's all bad.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a different browser where I've got Descript up, and I might need to log in. Didn't realize we'd go this way, but this is like for me, this is what I've been spending my last several weeks learning how to do this. So for example, there is, let me give you over here. Okay. And I wanted Sorry about this. I was not thinking that I was going to get to this point, but reference. Let me see if that's the one. Yes, this is actually. So I'll just show you an example here. So what ChatGPT does is you upload what Descript does. You upload a video. This happens to be, by the way, a Zoom call that I have with someone who is helping me to become a paid speaker. Okay, so I'm very interested in that. Now, think about this. This is a Zoom call. Okay, now what happens here is that with Descript you upload the video. Okay, so have you guys done Zoom calls that you record?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so think of every Zoom call you've ever made. It could be 10 short videos from every single 30-minute, 45-minute call. Okay, so with a single press of a button here, you are able to remove filler words. Okay, so and I've already done this, but when you click on that, like in this particular one, there were 850 filler words. And filler word is an just, those kinds of things. So it went from basically an hour and 36 minutes down to an hour and 29 with a single press of a button. It deletes them and simultaneously puts them in there. So remember how you're doing a video and you're like, I said that wrong. Well, with this way, you can edit a video like you're editing a Word document. You say something bad, you just come into here, okay, and click it out, and it's gone.
Does
Okay.
it clip that portion of the video as well?
What is that?
It clips that portion of the video at the same
Yes,
time?
it does. So you edit the text, the video gets edited out. Okay, instantly. Okay, yes.
Where did you, I was distracted by some things back here. Where did you begin this? Did you just pull up?
It's called Descript.
Okay, thank you.
So now I do have the paid version. The paid version is $30 a month. The free version, you can get some of this work here. But let me just show you something else you can do. Okay? So you press another button and you go to shorten word gaps. So now you click a button, and in this case, anytime there's a pause or anything like that, you can say, so I can say, for example, any clip that's 2 seconds or more, I'm going to shorten it to 1 second. So now if you have a 5-second pause, nobody says anything, you can knock that down to 1 second, and it just goes throughout the entire thing, and it just does that. Okay, so does this make sense? Like, you have to pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to somebody.
It's getting your content clearer, cleaner, shorter.
Okay, now, you press on this one button here, okay, I'm going to show you this T, okay, that is going to create, okay, captions instantly. Okay, so now you can have it so that this video has captions. Okay, now the next thing you can do here, there's an effects button, and I'll show you over here where it's got, actually let me go on this part here, and sometimes this messes up with me, but there is a part here where you can actually have it. I'm not showing it here, but I've already done it, where you can actually have your eyes look at the camera. So remember how sometimes you're on Zoom and you look down, you're looking this ways? It has an automated feature that makes it so your eyes are always looking at the camera with a single press of a button.
So that's good with a teleprompter too, right?
Yes, but you could be looking down, reading your cards, as long as it's not like this, okay? As long as your eye, you can see your eyes.
I think the adjustment on Zoom is you're looking at the video, not the camera. So everyone's always kind of looking a little off.
Yeah, so and you press the click, and it automatically makes your eyes looking direct at the camera. Now, do you see kind of how you have these takes that are imperfect? But now with AI, you can do that. So let me give you an example of a 60-second clip that I made for this person who is my mentor in this particular element of how to become a paid speaker. And just to show you that I create, then what you can do is you basically go in here and so 2 steps. I go into Claude, okay, so here's something else, Claude or ChatGPT. You can upload the transcript and say, give me as many 90-second clips based on the timestamp of this that will work for social media, okay? And it will actually slow down and give you those elements. Okay, so you can then use AI to say, hey, here's 90 minutes of conversation. Give me 10 or 20 ideas for social media posts that are 90 seconds or less. And it'll point out what they are.
It like analyzes, like if it's a starting word of a sentence and whether or not the context is the same within the full 90 seconds?
Yeah, what it basically does is I can show you the output, an example of it, but basically what it will do is it'll say, and I gave it a specific prompt, this is a little bit advanced, but I said, give me the title, so tell me what it's about, AI in the future, or how to monetize your whatever. And then it will say, this is the subject matter, and here's the timestamp. So then I can go into the timestamp, into here, and I can find it. So what ends up happening is, you right click here, and you have what's called duplicate to, boom, a new composition. That's your short. So you literally pick the text that you want from here. So if I decide that this is what I want to have, you click it, and it automatically duplicates, and that's a new video that is underneath here. So I'll show you how that looks inside. And this is an example here. So this is like, I'll play it for you and just show you what I was able to create. Okay, so just give me a moment here. I wasn't planning on going to this level of detail, but I just want to give you a sense for the way that you can use AI to create content that's very different than, I'll need to locate that really quickly.
I was looking at it, you guys can use a practical use of this. Like just talk through in a video, what would you advise a new buyer when buying a home? Or, these are the things we can talk about when we're selling a house. And then just do an informal video. You can clean it all up, it sets it up, and now you have things you can now use in post. Right?
You can even use AI to write the script.
And you can have it even write the script. Yes, you can even have it. Ben's done this for me on my social media, and we may show kind of examples where I have what do you call it, the thumbnail, and then it has actual blog post, and then it has a link back to my original video. And he kind of does that. I do that twice a week. We post it because I've got a lot of video content out there. But I've taken it as far as I could go with that.
And I'm actually going to go into one of my old emails because I sent it to her and I know I've got that. I'll just so just give me a moment because it was actually enough that she was pretty blown away from it. This is what, here it is. So let me download this guy, and because I'm having trouble locating it, and then I'll just show you here. So this is like, just to show you, like, this was from a private conversation. Let me make sure it's here. Is it not connected?
It's just not.
Behind the door, is there like a volume thing on that little pad? I don't know if it does have a speaker.
Yeah.
It's up to 80.
They don't talk about the problem that the people who are booking them are facing. They don't understand them. The better somebody understands your problem, the more likely you're going to spend money with them. So, example, this morning. So I've got a lovely puppy. I love her. I adore her. But she begs at the table. She's a bit bitey. She doesn't listen to me. She goes through adolescence, right? There's a lot of things. She pulls on the lead. There's lots of things she does wrong. And so I'm flicking through Facebook this morning and this advert comes up and it's talking about the problems of an adolescent dog, specifically adolescent dog. It's like totally targeted. And it's saying, your dog is lovely, this. It's describing my dog and my problems. It's not talking about them. And I bought the course. I bought the training course immediately because I felt completely understood. The mistake most speakers are making is they're not making the bookers feel understood, and then they're not articulating the benefit of booking that speaker. What's the benefit of booking Ben? What's the outcome I'm going to receive? You need to focus on problem and outcome, and then what they'll do is they'll say, okay, why are you qualified to do that? Then they look at your profile, yeah, you are qualified to do that, you're not a speaker, you're an expert. And then they say, okay, then it's not a discussion about fee, it's a discussion about, can you deliver this outcome? Okay, that's fine. The bigger the outcome, the easier it is.
So I just want to show you that that was from an internal Zoom meeting and was able to do this on Descript. I've been, from that meeting, from that 90-minute call, we probably have 10 to 15 social media posts that she could do. And I had a couple for me, and I'm just, really right. And so I just want to kind of give you this idea that video creation and video editing used to be this thing that you had to be an engineer, you had to be an expert. I tell you, I'm a nerd, but I'm not a programmer. I do not know how to use Adobe, okay? As a matter of fact, I've thrown my computer out the window several times trying to use Adobe Photoshop, figuratively, not literally. Like, I just get really frustrated. But today, these tools are out there and are able to help you do that. So was this a helpful example for you guys?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because like I said, this is slightly advanced, but it's an example here where if the thing that I'm learning, and I think we're all on the same journey, is whatever your business is, you're selling your expertise. Okay, that's what it is. And a lot of people do not understand their expertise. What was fascinating was this lady has 25 years of being a booking agent, and really has done some fantastic things. And yet, our conversation, I was like, she's been doing it so long, she doesn't realize how fantastic the ideas are. And I was like, hey, let me show you how profound some of the conversations we had. And it's like, and so she happens to have like 200 podcasts, that she's done, and she has lots of content. I'm like, I could take it, you don't have to say a word, you could probably have 5 years of shorts based on everything, with AI analyzing it. But for those of you that are new, you're brand new, what do I know? Well, guess what? You all know something unique about your neighborhood. You've got your personality. You're selling yourself. And create that content, because this right here, by the way, okay, I could then take, I could take that and I showed her this, that I copied that text and I said, now make me a LinkedIn post. Now make me a Facebook post. Now make me Instagram. And it literally would be able to take that and you can tell it the structure you want. Okay, this is how I do it. Okay, so one of the things I do with ChatGPT and Claude is I'll upload a bunch of transcripts of stuff I've done. So then I want to write a LinkedIn post. I just give it a couple of lines and it writes in Ben speak. It doesn't write in this, well, we delved into the societal impact of the revolutionary tapestry of this technology. Have you ever read those AI things and you're like, oh my God, this is junk, okay? So anyway, that is the element here where it's important to be able to have this ability to be able to understand that, yes, if you go into ChatGPT free version and you ask it to do something, it probably will suck. I promise you it'll suck. Okay, now we can do stuff. If you want to go and get a recipe for vegan tacos, no problem. If you want to plan a trip to Cancun, no problem. But if you want to do something in your business, you do need to take a little bit more time and energy to introduce yourself to the AI. Okay, if you don't introduce to the AI who you are, how do you introduce yourself? You introduce yourself through your videos. You introduce it through the transcripts of your videos, through the blogs you've already done, if you have a newsletter, show all the newsletters. You say, this is my voice. Speak in my voice. I want to write a LinkedIn post. This is how I write it. You have a hook. We want to have a main concept, a list, some sort of data to back it up, and a call to action. You say that, and you train that, and then you can be able to create this kind of context quickly, or this content from there, simply by giving it the right program. Yes, Chris.
And I think it's a great idea as far as introducing yourself. And I've also created ideal client profiles for different types of clients I would like to attract and everything. So you can train it, I've got different prompts for first-time home buyers, luxury home buyers, and so forth, sellers. And you ask a series of questions about like, hey, what are your motivations of a first-time home buyer? What's important to them? What are their fears? Where might you find them? And that helps you get your messaging a lot clearer to that subset of type of client that you might want to attract.
Did you guys understand what he just said there? Because that's really profound. I was trying to do that, by the way, in the first exercise, but didn't get there. So thank you for bringing that up.
You want me to touch base later and show you, so I know.
So, but no, it's so I do. So that is I do that. So what he said was, and it is an example. When we're talking about do-it-yourself, and that is one of the next things that we were. What is your name again? I apologize. Liz. So, Liz, one of the things that Chris here brought up is that you need to identify your ICP. Who is your ideal client profile? Who is that person? And I think, and that is, so for example, I have an AI consulting business, and one of the things that I've said is that I have business owners and then I have corporations. And the business owners, so I've gone through that same exercise where I'm like, my ideal business client or company client has 50 employees, is in this industry, this industry, this industry. They have these issues that they're dealing with. Help me with my messaging, help me with my outreach, help me to identify what are the roles within the organization that would be most receptive to implementing an AI solution. So that's an example there. What you were saying here, and I think we can actually do that real quick. I like that idea here of us. First of all, does anyone have any questions for me about video content or things like that? I want to make sure. I want to kind of put a bow on that. Go ahead.
On the Zoom, was that like particularly for like long form, or would it be like, can you crop it? I guess.
I cropped it. That Zoom was
Okay.
cropped, by the way. I
Okay,
forgot
cool.
to tell you.
Yeah.
You can crop inside of Descript.
Okay.
And when you cropped inside of Descript, it actually is able to.
For portrait, for landscape.
Yes,
Okay.
there's two things. It gives you the aspect ratio. So here's the nice little tip. It'll make me sound interesting, but it was inside of Descript. Is you can actually, so for LinkedIn and Instagram, it's a square. For TikTok, it's a cell phone version, and then for YouTube, it's the basically the
Landscape.
landscape point. So you actually can take the same video and put an output for YouTube, an output for LinkedIn, an output for TikTok. So it'll let you do that. It changes the aspect ratio. You do need to make sure it's good. The other thing I did was I cropped it, because in a Zoom call, you've got all that those other things there. So in Descript, you literally can crop it, and then the entire video stays within there.
Nice.
So that's a great question.
So you recorded the Zoom call and then imported it into the script?
Yes.
And then manipulated within the script?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, best order of operation is you get whatever the video is, download it, get it on your computer, upload it into Descript. From there, run all the analysis. It does have something that I'm actually not as excited about, which is an AI editor, where you click it and it will actually delete what it considers to be redundant information. Okay. However, I've caught it. It's bad boy sometimes. It deleted some very important
Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it deleted, so I had to go through and I looked at it and I'm going, I don't like this. Because I'll say, this is Amy Smith, who's this author of this book, and in her book is this, and it deletes that, and then it talks about all this other stuff, and I'm like, wait, how can you understand this other part if it deletes the introduction to where this came from? So I'm always hesitant. Like there's another tool called Opus Clips. Who has heard of Opus Clips? Okay, I do not use it. I got very upset with it because Opus Clips, what it does is it'll automatically create your clips for you, but it'll cut off in mid-sentence. It'll take a nonsensical thought, and you're like going, wait, and I can tell when people use Opus Clips because you click on it and it's like you don't really understand. It's like they start to talk about this, they stop, they talk about something else, they don't finish, and they stop in
You don't
mid-sentence.
control, because like one time I was doing it with some videos where I was talking back and forth to somebody else and all the Opus Clips for the other guy.
So
All the hit ones do, because they do it ranking, they rank it. So all the hits were the other guy talking, not you.
I think most of them were just doing the other guy, so.
And it puts the little thing at the bottom. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's a good introduction to this stuff, but it's not for advanced, and it's gonna miss things.
yeah, so best order of operations, I think I said is upload, do all of your edits, download the transcript into either ChatGPT or Claude, ask it to give you the best social media clips that are.
Do you use the AI transcript, or do you use the script? Do you let it do the transcript? Zoom has its own you can use.
No need, because what happens is you have to upload the video and then you
It'll pull it
edit off the transcript inside the video.
Okay, so theoretically, I could record myself for an hour, just saying all kinds of things.
Yes.
Upload it into Descript, get the transcript, and then modify into any kind of format I want for any social media avenue using Descript.
Yes.
Okay, so I could talk about retirees and for sale by owners and.
And if you want, one of the things you might consider is doing a Zoom call with a friend, and you're just talking back and forth, because it's actually a lot when you're talking. It's a lot easier to have that. But absolutely, I mean that's why podcasts are so powerful, because you're having this conversation and you clip the 60 seconds out of it. So my recommendation would be to go find a friend, have them ask you questions.
That's gonna be hard, but okay.
Well, it's more organic.
Okay.
It's less
Right, and your
scripted.
language is more natural.
It is.
Right.
It is.
You're not stressed out about saying exactly the right thing.
Because haven't you, the hardest thing, so I'll tell you, the hardest thing for me is to do a webinar with no interaction. So I do this,
It's boring too, right?
what?
It's boring too.
So I have this thing with the company called O'Reilly where I do for job seekers, and I have to do a 2-hour presentation. There were like 1,000 registrants, and it's how to use AI for finding your next job. The only thing I've got to go on is there's a chat with questions. That's the only way I understand what's going on, and it has their initials, A, B, T, T, or whatever, because it's all about privacy. And so that is really hard to talk and avoid and be excited and say and make sure you've got people. So that I definitely do feel like, me personally, it's much easier to just talk to a live person. I noticed, Jeannie, you were looking at your watch. Are we okay on time? Where are we at?
I'm good.
You're good. Is
5 minutes, right?
did you have a question? You look like you're about to say something.
If I work with first-time home buyers, I can teach AI or have it tell me what, like Chris said, all the prompts for first-time home buyers, what are their needs, what are their fears, what keeps them from buying a house, why, all those things, and then have it write a script for a presentation, then do a video using the script, then upload it into the scripts, and not only have a video that is edited, but also maybe have 10 to 15 short little clips for social media.
So here's the thing, is that the only thing that's missing is you can talk to ChatGPT about your ideal client profile, which I'd like to do that with all of you right now. I think that's a really good one.
I've got questions if you want me to read them.
Why don't we do this? Send me, can you text this to me?
Let's see here.
Because what I'd like to do is do it on this so they can see the output.
Okay.
So give me your question. Let me start a new chat. Okay? Give me the question that you ask.
Okay, just a second here. Well, sure, I can send it to you, I can read it out the questions if you want, you can create it.
Okay, go ahead. So just start with the first question.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't, by the way, it's not like a programmer where there's only one right way. There's there's multiple ways to ask questions. So how would you ask the first question?
Okay, what are the pain points of first-time home buyers?
Okay, what are their pain points? Okay, so now now this is like think of this as your therapist or your coach.
It's just creating video after video. You can see here. Just
Right, I was
create
just gonna say,
one
that's a
after
video
another.
right there.
So now here's the deal: is if you're knowledgeable, what is your name?
Joni.
Joey?
Joni.
Joni. Okay, thank you. So Joni, if you could take each of these, finding the right property, and you could create, if you are knowledgeable of this, and you're going to have your own spin, your own excitement, you could then create a video about finding the right property for first-time home buyers, as an example.
Right.
Now, I could also say I want to write a blog about this, or write a LinkedIn post, or social media post. You typically would want to have a little bit more about who you are, so that it doesn't sound like an AI bot is writing.
Right.
Okay, but yes, so do you have, for example, a Zoom call or a Zoom meeting that you've talked about something like this before?
No, but I do short videos for first-time home buyers, but this would make it a lot easier if I.
I've got it
Did you
down
develop
so at the
script?
end it'll actually create the content for you.
Do you?
After the ICP is created.
Right, and so go ahead. So what's your next one?
Okay, next one, what are the fears of first-time home buyers?
But I just said that. What are the fears? I thought I.
Pain points and fears.
I said.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, what are the goals of?
Yeah. What are
What are
their
what are their pain points and then what are their fears? I know it sounds a
what
little
are
redundant.
what are
but-
their goals
Yeah.
and fears? Okay. Now, what we're doing here, this is when we're talking about prompting. It's a technique where you're drilling down. Okay,
And,
and the
and
point.
it keeps memory of that chat
You're
all the
teaching
time.
it.
Yes.
Now-
On this one chat.
Yeah, brand new chat isolated from all the other chats.
Now, here's the deal. You see that 4.0, the $20? Think of this as having a better memory. In the free version, it's going to start forgetting the initial elements. It has what's called an 8,000 token context window, which is about 7 pages of text. So imagine you talk to somebody and you explain to them who you are, and then you go into a conversation, and all of a sudden they're like talking generic, and you're like, "Do you remember who I am?" No, and you got to reintroduce yourself.
Okay.
That's the limit of the free version.
Okay.
But for $20 a month, it'll remember 100 pages of context. So now you can put transcripts, long transcripts, and it will remember them. The free version can't handle the transcripts. Okay, so that's also a really important concept. So as you guys are investing, I know I sound like a broken record. $20 a month for something that's 10 times more powerful, that can save you 80% of your time on administrative tasks. It's worth it. Okay, it is absolutely worth it. Whether you do Claude or ChatGPT, one of those things. What's your next one?
What are the motivations of first-time home buyers?
It can sell houses for you too. Just kidding.
Okay. So what's going to happen here is, and this is really a great example of digging deep.
As I should remember, first 10 AI certified agents in the world, so that's how I learned all this.
So what's getting out of the hood?
What's the next one?
What are the internal dialogues of first-time home buyers?
What are the internal dialogues?
Yeah, what they say.
Very nice. Okay. 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 And this is really good because you're now getting in almost this, it's telling you the psyche, okay?
You're getting inside their head.
You're getting inside their head, and this is really powerful for, I can show you some things like if you're gonna meet with somebody and you have their social media profile, you can get super personalized in how, and who that person is, what they think. You can do a full personality analysis. I mean, that's an advanced use case, but yes, you know, today's world, you need to be personalized.
So when you were dating that person and driving that car,
You ready for the next one?
Yes, what's the next one?
What are common objections of first-time home buyers?
So Ben,
Yep.
let's sort of get some conversation going on here with people and how they've used it and how you would suggest, you know, what's the first thing they could use it for if they've never used it before? I mean, all I've done with it is describe houses,
Right.
you know, so, yeah.
Okay.
You're almost done with this, right?
What?
You're almost done with this.
I am. I'm not, actually, I didn't really have as much of an agenda. What I've learned is I've got to see who's in the room because doing generic AI, it can become people can glaze their eyes. This has been interactive, so Gina, that's a great suggestion here. So let me get somebody who hasn't spoken as much. How have you used it, or who doesn't know where to start?
Let's get the people in the back here involved here too.
So who is looking and kind of saying, what do I do next?
Yeah,
go ahead.
that's good to know what to do next would be good for me. Because I have understood how you keep asking the questions to get what you want, what you need. I kind of gotten through that part, but I am not sure how to apply it more.
Well, I think mostly what we've heard, or what, in my opinion, what we've heard so far is, how to, like, content for videos.
Yeah, that was
Right.
Content well, think of it, I would be more broad. Having your voice become much more sharp. How do you define your voice? And how do you project your voice? And if you talk with the AI like a coach, then
Okay, so you're just teaching like how to use AI then mostly. But so what would you suggest is the first thing that people do with it?
So the very first use case is typically for your boring tasks that you hate to do, okay? Typically boring tasks are gonna be writing emails, writing, or summarizing conversations. Who here, one of the things that I have is something called Fireflies. That conversation was recorded on Fireflies, okay? I record every one of my Zoom calls. Why? Because you can stick it into AI, it will do the summary of the notes, and it will write an email for you, a follow-up that says, here what we talked about, this is for me to do, this is for you to do. You can send it, it takes 2 or 3 minutes
he
to
does it
edit.
on all my Zoom calls with him. He sends me the notes of the meeting through Fireflies.
So for example, think of so the way I look at AI is, think of everything you hate to do that takes time, okay? Now, taking out the trash is not gonna do that for you, but think of anything that has to do with words or videos or text that or pictures, and ask the question, could AI help me? And then you go to ChatGPT and say, this is what I need to do, how could you help me? Okay, and then when you do that, suddenly, like I get in a fight with my wife, okay, and we're like arguing about some sort of fact, and we said, okay, done. We're gonna ask ChatGPT, okay?
The moderator, huh?
Yeah, ChatGPT can be the therapist, the moderator, but don't tell it too much because you don't know where that data goes. Yes, go ahead.
I'm not clear on how to use video like a Zoom, the steps you take. You have a video chat with your friend.
Right.
You create more of who you are, your language, how you talk. So you download it, and then do you put it in the chat bar?
Well, actually,
Or do you upload it to ChatGPT?
So, good question. I did not really go through the mechanics here, and I guess
It's more complicated.
well, let me say this. The first thing we do is upload it in Descript, the video itself.
Oh, into script.
Descript. Because the first thing I'd want to do is use Descript to get rid of the ums, the ahs, and get the timestamp correct. So Descript will automatically create a transcript. Zoom and all the other ones also do have a way to create, so creating transcripts is now a commodity. There are so many tools out there that will do it. So if you have a video, just upload it to Descript, it'll create a transcript. You edit it in the way you want, and then I would download. So for Descript, it has a download. I'll just show you really quickly on it how it works here is that you can come in here and this publish and export, and you can export just the transcript. And what that does is then I can take that transcript and it's a file, a Word file, copy,
Put that in ChatGPT.
and you put that in ChatGPT.
There it is.
What? Does that help?
I'm like, are we going back to ChatGPT? Yeah, I get it now.
No, you go to ChatGPT only to cut the shorts. The only reason you would go at that point is you could use it to cut into shorts. You could use it to write social media posts. So that's where ChatGPT can help you is how do you take this piece of content and ideate it?
Let me get back to what Gina asked, because she wants to know practical application for real estate. And it goes back to what Liz was saying. Like, we got to identify our client. Who do you want? Who are you interested in working with? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it golf community people? Is it sellers? Is it buyers? What is it? And then you can use these tools to drill down a marketing aspect to reach and connect with them. And the video element is you, I'm passionate about this topic, this person, this is my client, this is what I want. Then we're gonna find a script that you can work through and read, or you do a natural conversation, and they can record all that, and they can pull out you, and it can put you in social media posts. Your personality, the way you do things and say things. That's the more advanced part of it, but the idea is we want to identify who our target market is.
I could have a different target I'm doing that, right? If I'm defining content, like I know Joni loves first-time homebuyers. So she could spend a lot of time cultivating content for first-time homebuyers, concerns, fears, motivations, etc. But then eventually she's like, you know, I really want luxury homebuyers now. She could do this thing.
Okay, then you just switch it and you
all
change
over
the
again.
script.
Yeah.
And
So how does it, I still am confused, how does it learn my voice? Is it through the videos, the transcripts, and then the trimming of it?
think of, let me show you, this is a great question. How does it learn your voice? There's a couple of ways.
It's helping.
Ask ChatGPT.
So let me kind of share this with you over
Buyers
here.
who can afford to pay the buyers.
On the top left, do you see that thing that says first time home buyer pain points?
Mhm.
That is called a chat. Every chat is a distinct conversation and it does not remember from one chat to another. Are you following?
Mhm.
So there are a couple of ways in the settings in your ChatGPT account where you can tell them a little bit about who you are. So if I'm looking at this here, I can say under my settings, I think there's a place, personalization. There's a thing called custom instructions where you can tell a little bit about ChatGPT who you are in general. So you can say, I like to put content in a certain way. How, you know, these are the things that you're allowed 1,500 characters here, and I forget how many over here, but this is where you are that's something you can do at the beginning.
Mhm.
But when it comes to each chat, you say, how do I personalize? Okay, this is where you get into so think of each one you would upload a document. Now, the paid version, you can upload a document, it can absorb roughly 150, 200 pages of text. The free version, it doesn't allow you to upload a document, and it's like 7 pages of text. So again, that's why you pay the $20. Upload documents, transcripts, then that becomes part of the chat. And now you label each chat. This chat is first-time home buyer, but then you create a new chat for a luxury home buyer and you start all over. Okay, so I have, for example, a chat for my LinkedIn posts. I have one for my newsletter. I have different ones because they all have the content of who I am for particular actions. So does that help? Does that give you a better sense?
It does.
Okay, so
So Sean, what are some of the things that you've used it for?
Probably the cleanest way to kind of put this in a row on it, you can show my Facebook. Go to the True West Facebook, it kind of comes to the end, where it shows links back to my video, it has the social media posts. A lot of this complicated things is taking my content and then making it in a way that I can relate to the end audience. And he's also created it for both LinkedIn and for Facebook.
is this, let me see, this one, okay, you've got your personal stuff.
That's my personal. Go to True West.
True West, okay. True West Realty Group, okay. Okay, so, is this what this looks
Yeah,
like?
that's an example of one. So that's a clip that was created in AI. That picture. Okay, so that was created in AI, and then if you go back up, you can actually see the content, and it's in bullet points and the things you specifically talking about, and it has connections back to me, it also includes those. And then in the, if it comes from video, go to, you can't post videos in there if you wanna drive traffic to the video. You have to put in comments. This one doesn't have one. If you scroll down, you can find one.
You can also ask it to use emojis.
I know I've got one in here as a
Yeah.
video.
Is there, there's this might be the one here?
There you go. So it's a link to the video. When I did with Ben Gold, we did that. It's probably, was it Zoom probably?
I think we did it actually.
Oh yeah, no, we did. Yeah,
We did it
on the
right here
podcast.
in January. That was when I kind of did the impromptu conversation here with
That's
the
when
agents.
you happen to be here.
So if you ever want to drive traffic to your tube, you gotta put in comments. You can't put it in the actual post. But I think most of you have probably heard that before. So that's just an example of putting it all kind of together, and we're doing it twice a week. And you've got, I think we checked with Jenny. I've got like 11 or 10 more posts to go. And then I've got to go back and go to my new content I've created the last 90 days, and then he'll work through that. This is way beyond what I think most people are going to want to do with it, but creating ongoing content to connect with that audience that you're looking for, everyone in this room can do that. Okay, at a very base level, all of you can do that. And recording video really helps connecting with your audience. And you can get little clips in the video. You can pop in there and say, you know, is this something that comes up when you're looking at my video? And then walk them through kind of the experience. You know, these are things that any one of you can do. And it can give you, and make you look on top of it, like you got it now. Like it can really help. So, does that kind of answer any questions on how we came up with some of this? And we do it for LinkedIn too. LinkedIn's a different audience than Facebook. So it's important that you have the right message to the right audience. You know, I don't have buyers and sellers on LinkedIn, but I have other agents and professionals that I want to stay connected with. So my message might be something from the same content, but it's going to direct it towards them in their space.
Yeah.
What has anybody else used it for? Has anybody else used ChatGPT or AI very much? And what do you think?
I take content from KCM and put it in there, like a blog, and then give it my personality and my tone, and you know, like I can tell it to be in a friendly Southern, you know, Christian, you know, and I put all those things in there, and then I edit it back and forth according to that, but have it rewrite it in my tone, and then it becomes my blog post.
Yeah, it's great for summarizing articles like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a buyer's,
I'm so sorry.
my buyer,
We're talking about writing an article. What were you saying? She was trying to go off. What did you say?
she, who, Johnny?
Yeah. What did you say?
I use KCM. and-
Oh, yeah, you
and
write the
drop that
articles in your
to
tone.
write- Yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's
is
what you're
KCM?
talking about. That's our CRM. That's EXP's CRM.
So that's a great example where you take somebody else's.
Oh, sorry, Katie.
But then I can make a
It's a newsletter.
post.
Absolutely.
So I can, you know, shorten that and say, oh, now make this a, Facebook post, make this an Instagram post, and.
Yeah.
And that's a great use case where you're taking somebody else's content, try to make sure you miss it up. There's a really funny post that was on LinkedIn where there's a thought leader who puts together really nice carousels, you know, the things on LinkedIn that, and another company that talks about AI took her carousel, took her logo off and put in their logo, like some developer somewhere just decided to basically steal it. Oh my God, and she put this post that got like 1,000 hits and like 500 comments because she said, this is my post, this person stole my content. So just make sure one thing that you take somebody else's content, I'm sure you
KCM is
do it.
open though. Anybody can use and post any of those
Right.
articles. She just wants to relate better with
Exactly,
clients.
and so taking a generic thing and putting your spin is 100% cool. Like that is a great use case, and that's the way if you're stuck for ideas, it's a great thing to do is to take something that you read that you liked. I'll take a news article and I'll summarize it. I'll say, hey, you know what? Google announced this. I'll take the article, stick it in ChatGPT, summarize this, and boom, you've got yourself a post. Okay, so.
I did a value proposition, you know, to show
What you do for buyers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get better at that.
yeah, cause I needed one quick and I was like, so I put it all in there.
I'll tell you a funny thing I did is, talk about using it for relationships.
Yeah.
So I think it was last anniversary, I used ChatGPT to write a happy anniversary post for our wife on Facebook.
Oh, and how did that go?
She goes, Chris, can you use AI to write this? Because these are words that you don't use. And so I responded, you know that nice card you got me from Walmart? It was probably written with ChatGPT too.
Ben, we really appreciate you coming today.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.